All right, today we're going to try and put together sort of the ultimate budget watch collection. And that's going to be 3 watches for a combined total of under $150. This is an ultra budget collection. We're going to be looking to put together a collection of 3 watches that will cover essentially any situation you would need a watch for and not spend over $150 on the whole collection. It might be totally stupid. It might be impossible. Maybe it's a waste of your money. But I think there's a good case to be made for sort of this ultra budget collection and these particular watches that we're going to be adding into it. But let's take a look and see what you guys think. All right, so actually I kind of undersold this a little bit, I think. This collection that I'm going to be showing you today is actually priced right now on Amazon. I've got it in my cart at $102, so we're well under $150. I said $150 because that'll actually leave you some room to buy some straps. I think with a small watch collection it's always nice to pick up some extra straps, and yeah, it sort of extends the collection. But first off, why are we doing this? Why are we looking at like the cheapest watch collection imaginable? Because obviously there's a case to be made to say that, you know, even if you had like only $150 to spend on watches, you wouldn't want to buy 3 watches. You'd want to buy one decent good watch for $150. You could get a pretty nice watch for $150. So why would you get 3 watches? This is actually going to be the first video in sort of a series of looking at how to put together some budget collections and just kind of some of the strategies that, you know, I've thought about, and it's kind of fun thinking through, you know, how I would do this. But I thought it's best to start with the ultra budget because, and I think, you know, 3 watches in particular is sort of that's when you start having a collection. When you get 3 watches, I think you're getting into the watch collecting territory, because 3 watches I think can really cover most of the situations that you're going to wear a watch for. And I would break those categories into, you know, you have your daily wear watch, which is maybe more of a casual watch. You have a dress watch for situations when you need to throw on a suit or just look more fancy and dressy. And then you would have a beater watch for situations when, you know, you're out exercising or, you know, doing things that might otherwise damage a less robust watch. And so I think, you know, if you can find one watch to hit each of those categories, you'll have a watch that will cover almost any situation that you would conceivably be wearing a watch for. And I think where I'd like to go with this is I'd like to go to a place where maybe we expand a little bit and say, okay, so let's try and get that 3 watch collection for under $300 and try and find a way to do that. And sort of my strategy is when I'm looking at this and when I'm thinking about, you know, the kind of collection I want to put together, the first thing that I want to figure out is, you know, which one of those 3 categories am I going to be wearing a watch spending the most time in? You know, am I the kind of person that has to wear a suit every day, and so I have to wear dress watches all the time, and I want to, you know, have a dress watch that sort of matches that? If that were the case, I would probably want to invest more money into dress watches and spend less money on the watches that I'm not going to wear as often. For most people, it's probably going to be more the casual watch, the daily wear sort of watch, and that's where you get into, you know, divers are often very popular. As I mentioned before, I tend to like field watches or aviation watches for my daily watch. Something that's you know, easy to read, has a nice kind of casual look to it, maybe a little bit more robust than a dress watch. I don't tend to wear beaters very often, but I can imagine there's some people out there that, you know, maybe they you know, have jobs that are more physically demanding, and they have, you know, they're often exercising or very active, into a lot of outdoors and sporting, and you might want to invest more money into like some kind of an adventure watch or a really tough G-Shock or something like that, knowing that that's just the sort of personality you are. Whatever it is, you know, that's I think where you want to start with this is, you know, don't just immediately assume that there's this one category of watch. You want to spend a lot of money on a dress watch and then buy a cheap beater. You know, maybe you're the kind of person that wants to spend a lot of money on, you know, a beater watch, and it's an expensive G-Shock or something. And, you know, maybe you can get away with getting like a cheap Timex or something for your dress watch because you hardly ever wear it. But so that's kind of the idea. If we start with the absolute cheapest in these 3 categories, I think that'll kind of give you the freedom then to sort of spend more money in the one category that you do want to use, you know, that you're going to be, you know, in most of the time, and then spend a little bit less money in these other ones, and then still have a watch that will serve effectively that purpose when it does come with. So I think this is a great way to kind of start off your watch collection. If you start off with these 3 watches, or maybe you pick 2 of these watches plus a nicer one, without getting a lot of money into it, you're going to have a collection that will at least have you covered for the basics for when you need it. So without any further ado, let's get into the 3 watches that I chose that I think are going to cover you for almost any situation. And we'll start with the dress watch. So the dress watch that I chose, and it's one that none of these watches I have yet, but they're all ones that I want, and they're all ones that I'm planning to get eventually. But so for the dress watch, we're going with this Timex Metropolitan. So it's a 40 millimeter case. It has a really kind of cool dial to it. It's got some nice texturing on it. It's a dress watch that doesn't have a second hand, and for a quartz watch, I actually kind of like that because that takes away the one thing that really screams, oh, this is a quartz watch. The other thing, as I mentioned before, I do have one watch that doesn't have a second hand. So again, without that second hand sort of ticking away, you don't have that distraction of knowing whether or not it's a quartz or a mechanical. Obviously, if it's Timex, if it's a modern Timex, it's a quartz in there. The other benefit is that without a second hand, it's not going to have a really loud second hand, which Timex is often faulted for. But I really like the style of it. You look at a watch that doesn't have a second hand, and when you look at it, you don't see anything moving. You almost have to wonder, is this watch working? But the fact is, it is, and the time is correct, but you don't perceive the time moving visually. And so it has sort of this weird psychological effect where you're looking at your watch, but you're not conscious of it, ticking and whirring. And it's like the complete opposite of like having like a skeleton dial or something where you can see the internal mechanisms and there's things happening really fast. So I kind of like that effect. This Timex Metropolitan, I think, is a very classy looking watch. This one is a silver case with a black strap, which is sort of the most formal and most versatile. I would recommend, if you're going to do this, also grab maybe a brown strap so that you can kind of dress it down a little bit. And then if you're not wearing like a real formal suit, if you have it on a brown strap, it sort of dresses it down a little bit. You can wear that with brown shoes, brown belt, match your leathers. You'll get a good look there. But this one is, it's on sale. It's not on sale, but they have it at Amazon for $46. So it's a great price. It's under $50. Great looking watch. It's one, I'm really interested to get my hands on. One of these days. So dress watch, I say go with the Timex Metropolitan for $46. Next, let's go to your daily wear watch. And, this one I was sort of, bouncing around a couple of different choices, but I think the one that I came down on is the Casio MDV 106. So this is like one of the most popular watches in this price range. This one is listed on Amazon for about $45 right now. And it's a Casio dive watch. It has a 200 meter water resistance. It's got a screw down crown. It's just got like an absolutely classic look to it. And it's at an incredible price. So it's a fairly tough watch. A lot of people use this for like a beater watch, but I think it would make a great daily wear. You get the style of a dive watch. You get the actual functioning timing bezel. So it's just an amazing amount of watch for $45. And it's incredibly versatile too. So you can throw this thing. I've seen it on different straps. So you get it. It comes on a rubber strap. And again, I've said under $150. These watches are right around $100. So you're getting $50 extra to kind of play around with straps if you're actually budgeting that. You can pick up like you can get a metal bracelet and put it on a metal bracelet. Looks great on a metal bracelet. Looks great on a leather strap to kind of make it a little bit more classy. It looks great on NATO straps. So get a couple of different straps with this, and then if you're making this your main daily wear, if you're the kind of person that's kind of would wear sort of a dive watch on a regular basis, you can rotate through different straps and get a different look out of this watch. It's not that expensive. It's just all around great watch. You put it on its rubber strap that it came with, and you can go to the beach and go swimming with it no problem. So getting into your collection now, you're getting a watch that has this 200 meter water resistance, that has a real classic styling, really inexpensive, great value. So I think if you're going to do a budget watch collection, this is almost a must-have. And again, it's a watch that pretty much the only reason I haven't bought it yet is because while I'm here in America, there seems to be a lot of the American brands are much cheaper to get here in America than they are in Japan, and I'm going to be going back to Japan this summer. So probably I'm going to wait until after I get back to Japan to pick this up because it's a Casio and they make it there and it's really easy to get over there. So just from that standpoint, that's one of the few reasons I haven't actually picked this one up yet. But that's my plan, is to grab that one. Last watch that we're going to look at is a beater. This one's another Casio, and this one, another one has kind of a cult following. Seems like on the watch forums and YouTube channels and things. But this is the Casio digital world time multifunction watch. It is the AE 1200WH-1A. So they have a silver version with a metal bracelet. This is the cheaper version with the sort of plastic bracelet band. And the reason I picked that one is because this one, to serve as a beater watch for me, one of the things I use a beater for the most often is for exercise and for like running. And so I thought it's better to have the sort of rubber or plastic band than to have a metal one for exercise and that sort of thing. I like this watch because I like the way it looks. It has kind of this retro vibe to it. I love the fact that it has world time. Again, for me, having a GMT function in world time, that's one of my favorite complications on a watch because I'm constantly thinking in two different time zones between here in the US and Japan. So I love that it has that feature built in. It's got stopwatch, timer, all the great digital stuff. And I think any watch collection should have a digital watch. I don't like the way that digital watches tend to look, but they're incredibly functional and incredibly useful. And so I think it's great to have one because I find myself, there's a lot of situations where I'm like, I can just pull out my digital watch and time something or set an alarm or whatever. And, it's just really useful to have one. They're really easy to read. And this one, I do happen to, I like the way it looks. I've seen it put on a NATO strap. I've seen some pictures of that. I think you can kind of pull it off on that and maybe get a little bit more comfortable and keep the waterproofing. This one has a 100 meter water resistance, I believe, which is, again, it's perfect for swimming. You don't have to worry about it. Obviously, I don't go scuba diving, so it doesn't really matter either way. But yeah, anything that I could possibly do, I'm going to, as far as water sports is concerned, this watch would be able to handle. And again, I think it's just a great kind of cheap beater watch. And I like that kind of retro styling to it, where it sort of has this nostalgic feel to it, and it's this kind of square, chunky thing. But another, I think, great watch in that price range. And this one, it's only $14.50 right now on Amazon, so really, really affordable. So you throw those three watches in your cart on Amazon, and your total comes up to $105.22 as of the time of this video. Prices fluctuate a lot. Again, that leaves you a lot of room to play around with and pick up some straps. You could pick up a metal bracelet for your dive watch. You could pick up, for that Casio MDV, you could pick up a brown leather strap to go with your Timex. You could even throw on a NATO on your, Casio World Timer if you wanted to. Maybe get an extra NATO for your dive watch, and then you put all that together, and for under $150, you've got a pretty nice start to a watch collection. And I think if you start with these three watches, right out the bat, you've got three really good watches for the different categories you're going to use them for. They're going to look nice. They're going to definitely look more valuable than what you paid for them, and that gives you the option then to start, in the meantime, now saving up for a nicer watch in one of these three categories. And that's what I think we're going to look at next when we start going into some of these other videos and try and expand the price range. We might wind up doing a three watch collection for $300, and we'll throw one of these in there to give us more flexibility to spend our money more in the area that I would want to for me personally. So that's just kind of an idea of where we're going to go from here. I'd like to make this into kind of a series because I think it's really fun to think about ways to create like these small budget watch collections. And in doing so, think through sort of a strategy of how it's best to spend your money when you're looking to begin to build a budget watch collection. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of these three watches, if you have any personal experience with them. Again, these are three watches that are on my list that I want to get that I haven't gotten yet. But they're, when I started thinking through budget watch collection, these are the ones that really came to mind fast. Because I think they're all great value for, really nice looking pieces. And yeah, I think they're a great start to a budget watch collection. So thanks for watching today, and hope you guys enjoyed this slightly different than the normal review and things. But as always, hope you get a chance to hit the subscribe button down below, and maybe browse around the channel, check out some of our other videos, see if there's anything you like, and let me know what you think. If you have any requests or anything, always try and read through the comments and reply as much as I can. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.